Babe, babe, smile for me, babe. But babe, you're gonna die. I love you, babe. OMG, I love you too, babe. Hey, yo, what the f?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Shakespearean Theory, the show that is totally not a ripoff of game theory.
Today, we will be talking about The Merchant of Venice, one of the many plays written by none other than world-famous fancy talker William Shakespeare.
The play centers around the main character, Antonio, who happens to be, you guessed it, a merchant in the city of Venice.
Beep beep, coming through. Antonio is best friends with a man named Bassanio, who is, let's just say, MC Hammerbroke.
Daddy didn't tell you? He's broke.
What do you mean broke? Like Martha Stewart broke? Or MC Hammer broke?
MC Hammer broke!
As he is hopelessly in debt, Bassanio continually asks for a loan from his dearest friend Antonio, and Antonio just gives it to him, knowing damn well Bassanio won't pay it back. You see, in those days it was illegal for a Christian to give out loans with interest, and when somebody borrows money from you and doesn't pay it back, you just kind of have to forgive them, because you know, Christianity.
So as Bassanio is asking Antonio for this loan, he claims he can obtain enough money to pay back Antonio and all the other people he is indebted to by going after Portia, described by Bassanio as a lady richly left, and she is fair and fairer than that word of wondrous virtues.
Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair, speechless messages.
But since Antonio didn't have enough physical money for him to play genie and turn Bassanio into a prince, they were forced to seek out a loan from popular moneylender Shylock.
Since Shylock is Jewish, he is seen as the big bad villain of the story, but we as readers often sympathize with him as we witness the cruelty he undergoes because of the Christians.
Plus, who wouldn't want to be friends with Al Pacino?
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. Ever.
The rest of the play follows the story of Bassanio courting Portia and Antonio and Shylock's rivalry as Antonio fails to pay his bond in time.
In the midst of all these subplots and characters, we wanted to focus on just one, our leading man, Antonio. More specifically on his mental health. The first line of the play, spoken by Antonio, goes,
In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me, you say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn.
This line is cause for concern. Antonio says that he is sad, but he has no idea why. While he talks about it with his friends, they dismiss him, saying, well, if my whole business was on ships at sea, I would be sad by the possibility of them sinking too. But Antonio swears he's confident in his business. This leads us to believe Antonio may have depression.
We researched some of the significant signs of depression, and according to the National Institute of Mental Health, some of those include persistent sadness, anxious or empty mood, feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, irritability, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, decreased energy or fatigue, talk of death or suicide attempts.
Go through our checklist, the first line already justifies Antonio's persistent sad or empty mood. How do we know it's persistent? He tells his friend Gratiano, I hold the world but as the world, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. Not only is Antonio sad at the moment, but he believes his sadness is an undetachable part of his life and his role in the world thus far. This could also be described as hopelessness or pessimism, seen by our character.
He starts to feel irritable when Bassanio tells him of his plan to court Portia, Antonio saying, And out of doubt you do me now more wrong in making a question of my uttermost than if you had made a waste of all I have. Antonio emphasizes how willing he is to help Bassanio, but in a hyperbolic way, which expresses irritability.
Could argue that his loss of interest in activities could be shown as he asks for a loan from Shylock, who mentions all the cruel actions Antonio has done toward him, including kicking him and calling him a dog, during business. Once Shylock agrees to the loan with the small condition of a pound of flesh lest Antonio fail to meet the deadline, Antonio says, there's much kindness in the Jew. Though blatant racist actions toward a Jew is far from a favorite activity like this website suggests, Antonio shows a kind of uncharacteristic, almost tolerance of Shylock throughout the play.
It's not the usual cruelty as Shylock once described, but more toned down, less energy spent on villainy. It's just hard to believe that his sheer attitude toward Shylock changed, but this could be accounted for if Antonio were depressed. Even though Antonio does not blatantly say, "I wish to die," he repeats that he has come to terms with Shylock collecting his bond. Antonio just seems a little too okay with dying, with a very little struggle against the thought once his bond was broken.
Proved Antonio is showing signs of depression, but now we must speculate why. Of course, there's not always a reason for mental illness, but Antonio's sadness might be caused by something else, something like his relationship with Bassanio.
Bassanio is an important part of Antonio's life. Antonio himself even says to him, "My purse, my person, my extremest means, lie all unlocked to your occasions." Maybe Antonio was sad all along because, as a Christian, he's not able to be with his true love, Bassanio.
Antonio's ships were even a euphemism for his supposedly deteriorating chances to be with Bassanio. As Bassanio gets closer and closer to marrying Portia, Antonio's ships are rumored to be destroyed more and more. Even as Antonio faces death, he pleads, "Pray God Bassanio come see me pay his debt, and then I care not."
Bassanio is the only person keeping Antonio grounded on the earth. As Portia later saves Antonio, Antonio's outwardly obvious sadness is shown less and less, signifying his once again closeness to Bassanio. Bassanio even goes far as to give up his promise ring that he said he would not take off until death because Antonio asked him to. The man that he gave it to was Portia in disguise, witnessing firsthand her husband's infidelity.
At the end of the play, Antonio and Bassanio figuratively get married. Portia gives a ring to Antonio, who gives it to Bassanio once he swears an oath of loyalty. It's kind of a weird love triangle thing going on, except there's not three people and it's only two men being in love with each other.
We know at some point, it's more than just friendship between Antonio and Bassanio. Everything else before could have been excused as bromance, but now it's sure they're together. Though the director in the movie wanted to make it clear for the audience much earlier in the story by showing Bassanio and Antonio's tender kiss, right before the pair seeks out Shylock.
On top of that, once the marriage happens, Antonio finds that his ships are secure and he has his riches again, reflecting his closeness to Bassanio being restored. Therefore, we can reasonably infer that Antonio's feelings of unknown sadness were largely affected by Bassanio's emotional proximity to him. Once Bassanio proved once and for all that he loved Antonio above all things, even his wife, one of Antonio's possible causes for his distress and depression had been alleviated. With the comfort of knowing the one you love most loves you too, Antonio starts to be happy once again.
There you have it, folks. Antonio was depressed because he was missing Bassanio, but because Bassanio's a bad husband to Portia, Antonio's happy again. But hey, that's just a theory. A Shakespearean theory. Thanks for watching.